Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Yes, I am here. It is, I know Wednesday, but it's okay. Today is a kind of last weekend Tuesday since I missed Monday and had to shift everything into Tuesday. I am here 7 p.m. on the East Coast. So yet again, Larry Sharpe is here. Hopefully to entertain you and give you something cool to talk about, something cool to listen to and to watch. So if you like what I'm doing, as you hear me say every time, please like, comment, share, click on that like button, click on that hate button. They don't have a hate button, but click on the ha or the love or whatever button they got. If you're on YouTube, click on the dislike button. I don't care. Click on any button. Get those clicks going. I need them. Comment, share everywhere so that people know we are on this evening. The question that I have this evening is an interesting one, I think, at least, and maybe you don't, but I think it's interesting. And the question is, do parties even need platforms anymore? Is this even something that matters anymore? Are platforms important? And I know some of you in the Libertarian Party, you are all about platform, critical party platform. Platform matters. I know. I'm asking a serious question when it comes to having people vote for a Democrat, a Republican, Libertarian, a Green, whatever the case may be. How important is the party platform? Are people looking at that? Are people reading the platform? Are the candidates running? Do they even care about the platform? Does that stuff matter? And I bring this up for several reasons. But one of them is the Republicans during their convention this year didn't even bother to have one. They said, why bother? Doesn't matter. The Republicans feel it doesn't matter, right? They feel either that it's all about Trump or they feel that what they stand for is so obvious, who needs a platform, right? Or some combination of that, right? They don't believe their party needs a platform. I think in this election, they're actually right. Now, is that ongoing and is that only for the Republicans this year? I'm unsure. But I think they're right. I think in this case, if you're a Republican, I don't think you care about the party platform. I think you get what Republicans stand for, or you just hate Biden and hate socialists or hate Democrats. And you're just going to vote Biden because, you're going to vote Trump because Trump, regardless of whatever the party platform is. But my other issue is, and I bring this up often as a candidate, right? As a candidate, does Trump care what the party platform is? Right? Does Biden care what the party platform is? I wonder if the candidates even care. Are platforms, are they outdated? Right? And the reason why I bring this up is I think about myself as a New Yorker. I'm a Yankee fan. That's what I am, a Yankee fan. And those of you who think I'm wrong, clearly you're wrong because the Yankees are the best team on the planet. So everyone else who doesn't think that is clearly wrong. Just wrong. Done. I'm kidding, obviously. But no, I'm not kidding. So anyway, you're wrong. But my point being, it doesn't matter who's on the team. I'm a Yankee fan. It doesn't matter who the manager is. Now, I might complain and moan or groan depending upon who the manager is, or if a trade I don't like, I might moan or groan about it, but I'm not changing teams. I'm not shifting. I'm still a Yankee fan. And the Boston Red Sox are still the worst team in the world ever. Just the way it is. I'm still not going to like the Boston Red Sox. It doesn't really matter who's on the team and who's not on the team. And I feel sometimes like politics is that, right? I'm a Yankee fan. I don't like the Red Sox. It doesn't matter who's on the team. It doesn't matter who's the manager of each team. The Red Sox fans probably feel the same way about me. I get it. But isn't that kind of Republicans and Democrats? Does it matter who's on the team? Does it matter what background they have? Does it matter who the manager is? I don't know. Or is it only about the candidate? And I bring this up because of Bloomberg. Bloomberg in New York City ran as Republican, as independent, as Democrat. He was like, whatever vehicle gets me there, I'm in. That's all they cared about. I don't think he ever wrote a platform, or read a platform in his life. Am I off here? Am I so wrong? Or please let me know. And by the way, before you let me know, go follow me on Facebook. Go do that. Follow me on Twitter. Go do that too. Go follow me on both. I appreciate that. All right, let me grab a couple of comments because I think I'm saying something that some of you are probably going to get completely. Kentucky, I'm glad you're in the house. Syracuse in the house. I love that. But Larry, if you don't have a party platform, how can we tell fellow libertarians they're not a real libertarian? Valid point, Joe. Super valid. You know what? I'm sold. Libertarians have to have a party platform so we can insult other libertarians. What other value is there? I get it. Absolutely. Yes. So, hi from West Virginia. Yes, thank you. And Erica was amazing. I'm very glad. Yes. It should matter, but people don't seem to read them. I think you're right in both counts, Daniel, right? People should be reading the platform, deciding if that platform matches with who they are in general, and then joining that party or leaving that party is what they should do. But I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Yes, I'm not sure they mattered ever either. And I think that may be my entire point, Jason. You know, I never joined a party until Libertarian Party. And when I joined Libertarian Party, I didn't read the platform. I read the platform years after I joined the party. I was actually paying money to the party, donating to the party, and I hadn't read the platform. I joined the party in 2012 because of Gary Johnson. I didn't know what the party platform was. 4 years later, I read the party platform. Why? I was trying to be the VP, so I thought I should read the party platform. That's when I read it. I didn't read it until then. I don't think I've read it since. I don't think I have. So, yeah, I'm not sure they ever mattered. I joined because of Gary Johnson. And I'm sure lots of people joined their party either because of an individual or because their family or friends were that, right? I never had, my family and friends weren't that political, so I never joined a party before, just for me. For a party, yes. For an individual candidate, no. That's an interesting point, Paul. See, the thing I talk about when it comes to being a candidate, and if you don't match up with your party's platform, I think you should probably read it, is my assumption, and you should probably be able to tell people what parts you disagree with, and then you let the party decide if they're going to accept you or not, right? I think that's how you do it. In the Libertarian Party, we've had problems with that. We've had problems with people saying that they support the entire platform when they don't. And I'm okay with them not supporting the entire platform. I'm not okay with them not being able to tell me what parts they don't support, if that makes any sense. So, yes. Frequently, the candidates don't support the platform, especially Republicans. I think it's true. I think a lot of candidates don't. I wonder if they even read it. Yeah. Yes. Let's see here. Without party affiliation, maybe people would vote for the person at the party. Without parties, people would have to think a whole lot more. I think that's the critical piece, right? I think that's the critical piece. I think people would have to think a whole lot more. If I know that my guy or gal is wearing a certain color, oh, okay, they're all wearing blue, or they're all wearing red, or they're all wearing gold or green, I'm good, right? Single party voting, they're all good. I think you're right. If there weren't parties, you got to think a whole lot more. It's a point. Hey, Larry, go to Antifa.com and see what happens. I'm not sure what that means. See what happens. I assume I'll read what's on it. I've never been there before, but maybe I should go. Maybe I'll go. Yes. Okay. Let's go, Yanks all rise. Absolutely, Nick. See? Exactly right. Yes. Lifelong Mets fan, but here's the funny part, right? When it comes to the Mets, they're still a New York team. I'm first Yankees, but if the Yankees can't win, I'm all in with the Mets if the Yankees can't win. But if the Yankees are Mets, I'm going Yankees all day. I'm going Yankees all day unless the Yankees can't win. Then I'll go Mets. Never going Boston. Never going Boston. Yes. My dad was a Yankee fan all his life. Your dad was clearly an intelligent and savvy individual. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Actually, I dislike status, and since Democrats and Republicans are status, I will not vote for them. Okay, that's easy. That's easy. I hate professional sports. So many overpaid babies. Why do you support that? It's a great question, and it's funny. As a youngster, I really liked sports. As a teenager, some of you may or may not know this. When I was a very little kid, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up literally across the street from Yankee Stadium. I'm a big Yankee fan. I used to go to all the games all the time. When I was a kid in the 70s, I'm in my 50s now. When I was a kid in the 70s, you can go to the bleachers for the New York Yankees, and it was $1.50 to get in. I remember my father would give me $5, and for the weekend, he'd say, "Here's $5, go, leave me alone." And I would leave. I'd go to the Yankee game, At 10 o'clock in the morning, you go outside. Some of you don't know this. That's when the players would come in, and you get to see them in their cool cars, sign autographs, that kind of stuff. Then by noon, there's practice. 11 o'clock practice, noon practice, 1 hour for each team. They all come in at 10, 2 practices, 11 and noon. Then the game would start at 1. I get my $1.50 to go to the game and my $1.50 for the net game on Sunday. So I get 2 games, and I still had $2 left for some candy. Life was good. I was ready the whole day. I was gone from 10. The game would end around 4-ish, give or take, 4:30. I'd hang out with my buddies around 5, get home by 5:30, dinner's at 6. Life was good. So I'm a big fan. I still love the Yankees from those days. It hasn't gone away, but I'm nowhere near as dedicated. Just not. I watch a lot of professional sports when it's playoff time, but otherwise, not so much. But the point is, professional sports, they're the best at what they get. They're the best at what they get. At what they do, I'm sorry. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going. Run Ren Paul on the ticket, and I think it means you're gonna I guess it means you're on top then. Okay, yes. Do the R's and D's even have a platform as well laid as ours? I actually don't know. I think they do. I think it is laid out. The problem is, I don't think people are following it. Right now, if you look at, and for most of you, most people on this who are watching are probably either registered Democrats or registered Republicans. I hope most of you libertarian, but I know probably not. But I hope you know that most people who are voting in this election now are voting either because they love Trump or they hate Trump, or they hate socialism or love socialism. They're not really voting because the platforms are good. That isn't the reason why they're voting. And I think that's why the Republicans said, why bother having a platform? It's the problem with a platform, right? That there's lots of good things for a platform. But the problem with the platform is similar to what Joe was talking about. It is a reason to attack or punish or challenge others, right? And so, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you don't follow a platform. Or look at the platform, and now your enemies attack you for the platform. Because of how our politics works, in most cases, people spend a lot of time looking for something that sounds bad or reads bad, and then just attacking them. So they'll find something in a platform or in their policy, which is why so many politicians don't create a lot of policy. Because if you create a lot of policy, then they'll attack you on policy. Now, I happen to think, being a third-party libertarian, you need lots of policy and detailed policies. Like you saw what I did. I was totally prepared when I ran. Lots of policy, detailed policies for everything. Why? If they're attacking me, they're not ignoring me. And attacking me is far better than ignoring me. So, all right. A platform will only truly matter if the message can influence a large number of people who don't vote. Yeah, to vote. I agree, right? The platform has to actually move people to vote. I agree. Otherwise, why are you having it? I agree. Yes, absolutely. Maybe platforms need to be more of a compact. Well, I think you found that, right? If you remember, there was in the 90s, was it 94? I think it was 94 with Newt Gingrich. He had that contract with America. He basically had a compact. He said, this is what a Republican Congress will do if you elect us, Daniel. I think he followed that mode. And in 94, for those of you who are around and paying attention, it absolutely worked. It absolutely got more people moving towards that. And it got people, it made the press. It was very effective in getting people to vote. How effective he was and actually happened it working, I'm not sure, but it was very effective in getting people to vote. Absolutely. Hey, how are you, Lupe? I'm glad you're here in Houston. Yes. There we go. Yeah, I did like Newt Gingrich's contract with America. Thank you, Norman. That's what I was just talking about. If we gave them the House, this is what they would do, and they did. So, yeah, a compact's not a bad idea. What's Trump running on? Trump's running on, what's his saying again? Promises made, promises kept. Am I doing his thing right? For you Republicans, maybe I made you angry. I think that's his thing. It's promises made, promises kept. Similar idea, right? The idea that, hey, I said I would do these things. Now I'll do it again. And now he's saying, I'll make America great again. But what I'm seeing is, and this is from both sides, not just Republicans or Democrats, it's both of them. Neither of them have strong policies, right? It's much more of the, trust me, I'll get it right, right? The Republicans are running more on, look, I promises made, promises kept. Trust me, I'll get it right. I'm Trump. I'm good at what I'm doing. And Biden's like, look, I'm not Trump, and look, I'm a caring individual. I've done this before. See, me and Obama, I was great then. See, I think they're running on that and not on an actual platform. That's what I think. Republicans and Democrats do not stick to the principle. That's true. Yes, you are 100% correct. People should read, period. Anthony, yes, you are correct. They absolutely should read. I am with you. They absolutely should read. Yes, very true. Good. Do you believe that libertarians can be too purist? Principles never apply perfectly to life. Nuance has to come into the equation. See, there's an issue, right? Do you mean pure in thought or pure in policy or pure in deed? And then how do you say what is pure, right? As a general rule, if a libertarian candidate, not activist, not volunteer, activists and volunteers can be as pure as they want to be. A candidate, though, there's an exception in a candidate. A candidate has to be able to have principled answers for the constituents that he or she wants to serve. That's critical. And sometimes purity can go out the window there, but you should still have principled answers. So I'd separate candidates from activists and from volunteers and others. A candidate, I think, is different, and a candidate has to be able to have principled answers, but they won't be pure by default. You're in a dirty system. I don't think they will work. Yes. I was ecstatic to register libertarian and adopt the Red Sox. Boo! When I moved to Boston. I still love you, Steve. Thanks for coming. Yes. Party platforms were meaningless 50 or 60 or more years ago, at a time when parties were controlled by local political machines. Party platforms are becoming meaningless again. Oh, are you saying because we're becoming more of a cult of personality? That's what I think, right? And I'm going back to Trump. I think people are either supporting Trump or not. I think they believe, if you're a Trump supporter, I know many people watching are Trump supporters. If you're a Trump supporter, my assumption is you think, well, Trump will get it right. So the platform isn't critical because he'll get it right. And if you hate Trump, it's Trump can do no right. He's wrong. Platform of Biden's irrelevant. Trump's a bad guy. Got to get rid of Trump. So I think it's becoming more of a personality issue where a platform, you're right, doesn't matter anymore. The average voter is simply saying, do I believe Trump will get it right, or do I think he'll get it wrong? And that's pretty much it. If it's Republicans versus Democrats, yes. But if it's an independent versus a big party, yes, it matters. For you, it matters. You just have to get the GOP line for 2022. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Yes. Most American voters are functionally illiterate. I know this is the reading thing again. So reading the party platform is out. Make a really good, simple video. That's actually not a bad idea, Paul. It's not a bad idea, right? Make some videos based upon the platform and go down them. I kind of did it a little bit. I did the, how can we get Bernie Sanders' platform? How can we get all those policies done without socialism? For those of you who don't know, I did that on my Sharpe Way YouTube page, which you should be following, by the way, the Sharpe Way on YouTube. There's a separate playlist which says, can't feel the burn, maybe not sharp enough. And I go down in video form and do all of his issues, how we can get what these people want who are former Bernie supporters without going through socialism. It's about 6 hours long. It's 4 videos. So I think it's a good idea. I like it. I do like it. Yes, in fact, you should head on over to YouTube and subscribe so you can get that. Good idea. Maybe platforms should be replaced with a handful of short midterm political goals. I like that a lot. That's not bad at all. Because you could then, at a minimum, there'd be a simple way to go back to Paul's concept, right? There'd be a simple way of measuring success, right? So politician A had these short-term goals. Did he achieve 1 of them? Did he achieve 6 of them, 5 of them? And hey, look, I got 4 out of 5, or I got 1 out of 5, and come up with some excuses and blame somebody else, whichever. I think it could be. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. Sure. I think some of the problem is some of the voting Americans are middle of the road on a lot of things, and it most likely would be a platform we decide. For me, that's why it's difficult to use a party. voting America, middle of the road on a lot of things, and then most likely would be a platform for either side. Oh, I see. So the way, depending upon how they actually wrote the platform, it could be so middle of the road that there wouldn't be a clear enough distinction. I think they make wedge issues, though, right? If you look at one of the things that the Republican Party has done very well when it comes to pandering to their right versus Democrats pandering to their left, is right to life, right? The abortion issue, the life issue, Republicans have pushed hard. You saw it in the convention, mentioned it many, many times. I mean, it really has hit home as a wedge issue. I think Democrats are the same thing when it comes to Medicaid for all health care. They've shifted it. That's the answer. We got to go there. That I think they've done a very good job of pushing that side. They did create wedge issues. So maybe. All right. Let's see if I grab a couple more of these. I became libertarian by ideology after questioning my history teacher in my public high school. Then became interested in the party to the point of voting for all libertarians that I find as great candidates because I honestly believe there was a party for me. I used to be Republican, and now I'm a full-blown libertarian. Good for you. I do think some people come to the party because of the platform. I hope I didn't imply that no one does. I think people do. I just think the vast majority of overall voters don't care, right? But there are absolutely people who come to our party because they read the platform and go, you know what? That's for me. Totally happens. I'm saying I think the average voter, literally tens of millions of voters, don't read a platform at all. I think neither one. Let's see if I can keep going. Oh, he asked, it forwards to Biden's donation page. Oh, you mean the Antifa piece? Oh, thank you. That's what happens. Okay, there we go. I'll get that. There we go. Yes. Yes, particularly third parties. Karen Ann, I'm so surprised you would think a platform is valuable. Well, yes, I thought you would think that. Absolutely, yes. I think third parties, and there is a difference, right? And I think your point's a valid one. There's a difference when it comes to the two parties. It really is. All of them campaign the same way, a little bit nuanced depending upon the candidate, but they basically campaign the same way. I will protect you from the other. Whoever the other is, I'll protect you from that person. As I protect you, I don't have to be good. I don't have to have principles. I don't have to have anything except I'm not the other, so I'll protect you. But when you're a third party, you don't get that. Third party is different now. Third party means you actually have to have issues and policies and plans. Otherwise, you're completely ignored. You don't even get into the game. So I think you're right. Yep. Videos, right? Few read now. Absolutely true. Absolutely. All right. What I want to bring up here is what made me think about this more than anything else was a guy by the name of Stuart Stevens. Stuart Stevens was on Firing Line on PBS. He's a total anti-Trumper, does not care about Trump, thinks Trump's a bad guy. He thinks the Republican party's, lost him, all those things. So this is what he thinks, and this is what he talks about. Maybe think about an actual party platform. Not really what he said, but what the woman Hoover says in response to him. So let me pick this up real fast, and you'll see what I mean by this.
And is it what the party wanted to be, or is it just what won? I mean, here's my sort of pushback. It seems to me that parties aren't anything other than these dynamic organisms that represent their current leadership, the people that were able to acquire power, and then they get to set the tone and the direction themselves.
See, she believes that what the party actually is, it's not based off of a platform. It's not based off an ideology. It's based off of whoever wins and then sets the agenda. That's what made me think about this platform thing, right? And I feel like Trump and the Republican Party just made it more obvious, right? And now, does Biden really have a platform? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does. I didn't hear much policy during the DNC. I think his platform is, I'm not Trump. I think that's his platform. And I think Trump's platform is, I'm Trump. I think that's the platform.
And the party that was the Democratic Party of Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the New Deal, or LBJ and the Great Society, was a very different party than the party of Bill Clinton and the era of big government is over. Right? So to what extent is the GOP, again, like the Democratic Party, this dynamic organism that has succumbed to a person that doesn't represent any of the values or the principles that its predecessors or successors had represented, but has just fallen? And that falling is a result of not DNA, it's just a result of circumstances.
And I just wanted to bring up that concept is that true? It does a major party simply shift, right? Depending upon, I mean, if you look at a Clinton Democrat, the Democrats in the 90s, they weren't saying the era of big government is over. Clinton was saying that. Clinton moved right. He grabbed Morris as one of his advisors. He kind of did Clinton. He did whatever it was to win, right? And by the way, effective. He got elected twice. So kudos to him for winning twice. But I don't think he's the same Democrat that Carter was or that Obama was. I think they're different Democrats. I feel like Trump is similar to that. I feel like now it's just more obvious. And that's what made me think about that, right? That part made me think about maybe the platforms don't even matter anymore. Maybe it's just, do I like the guy or gal that's running, right? Maybe that's it. Got here late and I've had time following. I'm the kid who fell asleep in class and doesn't know what the question was. That's good. I like that, Brad. I love that. Yes. No, I'm asking about our platform's valuables, what I'm talking about right now. Yes, absolutely. I used to work at the Nassau Coliseum, and it was the only time I cared about hockey. Let's go Islanders, by the way. I actually grew up as a teenager on Long Island in the 80s when the Islanders were good. And for those of you who know hockey, in the 80s, early 80s, the Islanders were amazing. Since then, not so much. But they really were amazing in the 80s. So, yes, let's go Isles. Absolutely, 100%. Without a team to cheer for, the emotion dies down, common sense takes over, and we all realize that we want the same thing. Politicians have nightmares about this sort of thing. You know, Jerry, I think the party system of I'm not the other guy, yeah, I think it does help people just pick a side. I think you're right. I agree. I think it does. All right. Let's see if I can grab a couple. That's right. We haven't even voted yet, and people are attacking us when I don't know how we're going to vote. Yeah, you got to jump on one side, Linda. If you don't, you're bad. Absolutely. Yes. Ignore the Unity 2020 question. I'm sorry, because I must have missed that. I didn't want to ignore it. I get a bazillion of these. I wasn't ignoring. I missed them sometimes. I was not trying to know. I'm not sure what your question was. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Hold on. I don't want you to think that I was trying to ignore you. No, I don't ignore anybody. Just so much comes in. I'm not always able to get all of them as they come piling in on top of each other. So sometimes they fall apart. So I don't know what that is. So let me see if I'm gonna because what you said, I'm gonna look for it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. This one you mean. What do you think about Unity 2020 when the Libertarian and Green Party of Tulsi and Dan Crenshaw the ballot access? I've never heard of that. I don't. Why would what's that for? Is there any chance of Tulsi and Crenshaw making impact? If you think there's some way of them making impact, I think that's great. I don't know if they can. That feels like a stunt to me. My thought process is that feels like a stunt. It feels like let's just get two cool people and see how many votes. It feels almost like a Kanye West stunt. Maybe I've missed something, Caleb, but that's what it feels like. I like Tulsi. I do. Crenshaw, he's all right. Not a massive Crenshaw fan. He became a little bit anti-2A for me. But that's okay. But he's all right. I like them both. I like Tulsi too. She's all right. But why wouldn't they get on the Libertarian ticket or the Green Party ticket? Why would they do a unity something like? I'm not sure what that means. Maybe 2024. Maybe that could work. 2020, the Green Party and the Socialists have taken up Howie Hawkins. I had him on the show. They are 100% behind him. Libertarians are behind Joe Jorgensen. I don't know how this is happening. So I hope I answered your question, Liz. I wasn't trying to ignore you. Just so much comes in, I can't grab it all. So that's the issue. So I hope at least answered your question. I know it wasn't great. All right. Republicans used to be liberty-leaning, not this day and age. I think the party as a whole isn't. You're right. The party is still a big government party. But there are individuals within the Republican Party who are more liberty-leaning. I think that's true. You have a couple in the Democratic Party, too. You do. You have a couple. You got to find them. You got to search more. But there's a couple in there, too. I mean, I've had a couple on the show who lean liberty. You can find some. Absolutely. Both Republicans and Democrats are running as, look at how bad the other candidate. Yes, very good. Absolutely. Yes. I consider myself a liberty-leaning Republican, with libertarians think of that label. Is that an oxymoron? For some libertarians, yes. For many purist libertarians, you're a big L or you're nothing. I am clearly not that. I am happy to have Democrats, happy to have Republicans, independents, those who don't have any party affiliation. I'm happy to have you in my world. Vote libertarian anytime you feel it's appropriate. Matthew, if you think it's the right time to vote libertarian, please do it. The closer you come to us, the better. And you will always hear me say this. The stronger the Libertarian Party is, the better Democrats will be and the better Republicans will be without question. Yes. Libertarians can make a huge impact with 10 House members and 3 to 5 senators. With the split, they would decide everything. Correct. They'd be the swing vote. You are absolutely correct. Yes. Trump's platform is not I am Trump. I feel like it is, right? Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm missing something, right? But I feel like what Trump's platform is look, was it promises? I'm going to get it wrong. I'm sure the Trump supporters here will help me out. I thought it was promises made, promises kept. That's basically saying I'm Trump, right? I said this as Trump. I did this as Trump. I can fix things, right? I mean, he literally said in the first 4 years ago in the first committee, he says, I'm the only one who can save you. And now he said it again. I'm the one who can fix this. I feel like that's I am Trump. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as I think it is clear. Any person interested in Trump's platform can figure out the MAGA platform very easily. All right. Where can I keep going? Got caught up. It was the sports references. I didn't know where they were. Okay, good. I'm glad. So see, you're with us again, Brittany. I got you back up. I did. I got you back up. Yes. All right. Howie the commie. Yeah. But he's a nice one. He's a nice one, Nick. He is nice. Absolutely. Yes. I'm looking forward to hearing you speak in Syracuse this Saturday. Yes, I'm going to be out in upstate New York, rocking and rolling. That's where I'm going. Absolutely. I'll be upstate New York all this coming week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be up there, which is why I'm not doing so many shows. I apologize for not doing as many shows as I could. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. I didn't really mean myself. I meant we don't know power going to vote with the nation living in fear and beating the crap out of other people. Yes, that's true. Yes, absolutely. Linda, I'm with you. I think we can fix this. It's just going to take time. It's going to take time. That's only, it's just going to take time. So, all right. The Republican Party platform is we aren't the other guy. Thank you. Yes. Trump's platform is business. Maybe. Trump's platform is not I am Trump. Clarify that, please, if you have integrity. Larry. If you don't think I have integrity, stop. I'm sitting here taking questions. I've been doing it for over a year. I'm online with everything I've ever said. So stop that. That is unnecessary to say. And I explained what I thought. Why I said I thought it was I am Trump. If you don't believe that, that's okay. You don't have to, but you don't have to walk away. We can disagree. You can still be here. I want you to stay here. I want you to stay here. Will you be in Elmira? I probably will be in that area at one point. I think I absolutely will be there at one point. I want to go to one more if I can. I appreciate you guys giving me your patience, but there's another one I want to talk. This one is Joe Biden talking about the death of Jacob Blake, the shooting at death. I'm sorry, he did not die. The shooting of Jacob Blake. And why I bring this up is he talks a good game. And for those Biden supporters, I get why you like him. He speaks well, nice. That's awesome. I like that. But what you'll see what's missing here. It's exactly what I'm talking about. There's a big thing missing in what he's saying, and it's obvious to me. It's a short piece, but you'll see what I mean. What's missing here?
Video makes me sick. Once again, a black man, Jacob Blake, has been shot by the police in broad daylight with the whole world watching. You know, I spoke to Jacob's mom and dad, sister, and other members of the family just a little bit earlier, and I told them justice must and will be done. You know, our hearts are with his family, especially his children. It's horrible what they saw. Watching their father get shot. Like Gianna Floyd, they're asking why? Why daddy?
The part that I like about this is he does feel, it feels good. I get it. If you like him, the connection is great. But why? It's because of the policies that him and his ilk put into place. That's the reason why. 150,000 cops in poor black and brown neighborhoods in the 90s that he helped put in. It's his, he did it. Why is him? And he doesn't bring it up at all. He doesn't bring up what he's going to do. Right? I get it. He feels your pain. I got it. Clinton was amazing at that, feeling the pain. But what I'll give Clinton when I can't give Biden is at least Clinton had some policies. At least he said, I'll do this. I hated his policies, but he had some. Biden doesn't have any. He just says, hey, I'm with you. I feel you, which does feel good. I get it. And there's value in that. I'm just saying, where's the beef? I'm dating myself. Where's the beef?
Put yourself in the shoes of every black father and black mother in this country and ask, is this what we want America to be? Is this the country we should be? You know, as I said after George Floyd's murder, protesting brutality is a right and absolutely necessary. But burning down communities is not protest. It's needless violence.
So now he says the obvious, right? Which is don't burn stuff down. I got it. I agree. Don't burn stuff down. I'm with you on that. But my worry with this now is, does he now have an answer? No, he doesn't say, here's, and I know some people go, well, he's all about defund the police. He actually isn't. He has to have a plan. He doesn't want to defund police. He doesn't want. There are people in a party who absolutely do. There's no question they exist. He actually isn't one of them. He just doesn't have any plan either. His plan is, I'm going to be Joe Biden and I'm not Trump, and see magic. That's see magic isn't the policy. So while I get it feels good, I get that it feels good. I would like to hear how he's going to fix the police. If he's is he going to change something? What's he going to do?
Violence that endangers lives, violence that guts businesses and shutters businesses that serve the community. That's wrong. In the midst of this pain, the wisest words that I've heard spoken so far have come from Julia Jackson, Jacob's mother. She looked at the damage done in her community and she said this, quote, "This doesn't reflect my son or my family. So let's unite and heal, do justice, end the violence."
I like it. How?
End systemic racism in this country now.
Love the concept. I really do. I think it's a wonderful concept. There was no answer there, though. It was like I was talking about. It's I'm not Trump, which means what he's trying to say, and some people heard this, which is the reason why it's happening is because Trump. That's what he's trying to imply, right? He's trying to imply that. And for people who don't like Trump, that's perfect. They get it. Yeah, it's all Trump's fault. He did it all, right? Of course, it's all his fault. But the reality of it is, okay, let's say Biden's going to win. Okay, he wins. What's he going to do? I don't know anything. I'm not sure. Biden has selective memory. He forgets what impact the crime bill actually had on black. Yes, Steffi, you're totally correct. The reason why this is happening, this systemic racism he talked about, he was part of it. And you know what? You'll hear me often say this, and I really mean it. If you make a mistake, say you made a mistake. Say you're sorry for whatever you're sorry for. Imagine what people would think. if Joe Biden actually came out and said, you know, all this systemic racism I've been talking about, I'm a big chunk of that. Man, I shouldn't have had that crime bill. I really shouldn't have sent 100,000 cops into black and brown neighborhoods in the 90s. I really shouldn't have been part of the 3 strikes you're out. I really shouldn't have been part of doubling down the war on drugs. I really shouldn't have been part of mandatory minimums. I shouldn't have been part of any of that stuff that literally over-policed poor communities. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. Let me change it. And here's my plan to repeal all this stuff. Won't do it. If he did that, I'd have some respect for him. I would. I totally would if he did that. He's not doing that. Yes. The most coherent statement for Biden thus far, but how do we set the line? Yes, Brittany. And look, at least, and I always try to give people credit where credit is due. At least he actually said the violence is bad. Half the people on the left, I can't even hear them say that. At least he says that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yes. How cool would it be if Joe Biden came out and said, I ain't Trump, Jack, and left? He should have a T-shirt that says that. Then he could stop campaigning. Hey, I'm not Trump. See that? And he does use the phrase Jack, doesn't he, Pete? Well done. Very good. He does. He says that. So-and-so, Jack, or man, he says that. So yeah, I ain't Trump, Jack, or I ain't Trump, man. And boom, that's his shirt and done. Stop campaigning. I love it. Stop campaigning. Absolutely. It's very good. Yes. All right. Trump's platform is the left has gone to crazy territory. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Larry, you're amazing. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that. Yes. Yes. The Dems' new talking points are violence in the streets is bad because Trump's numbers are going up. There's a lot of validity to that, Tom. If you remember when there was first violence, a lot of Democrats are quiet. Some stood up. I mean, some did. There were a couple that stood up. But as a whole, the party did not stand up at all. The party was like, that's what the party was doing, right? And then all of a sudden, we realized that eventually people start going, all right, when's the terror going to stop, right? We'll take a night or two and we'll hold our nose. But at one point, when's it going to stop? And it's literally been now, what, weeks now? Weeks of violence now? People are like, whoa, this isn't, stop this. So I think you're right. And this is one reason why this commercial came out I just showed you. Because now he has to openly say, this is a bad thing. And he has to say it now. I think you're right. Sadly, for most politicians, Democrats included, Republicans included, the polls, they're able to make people move. Absolutely. 4 years of Trump and little change to abortion laws. What makes Republicans think 4 more years will change that? You know, this is funny. I ran on this piece in 2018. And most people who consider themselves strict conservatives didn't vote for me. And I said that while I will not vote to make abortion illegal, I promised less abortions in New York because I would create a system and I would support other ways to support women so that they would choose to not get abortions. I actually had a crazy plan for less abortions in New York State. But most people on the abortion, they don't have to do anything. They just go, I'm pro-life. That's it. Just say it. Oh, I'm pro-choice. They just say it, and that's it. All they have to do is make an announcement, and that's all that matters. Everything else, who cares? As long as I announce it. It's a wedge issue, Sean. Can you create an environment where there are less abortions in this country? 100% yes. Can you do it without government force? Yes, you can. Can you do it without attacking women? Yes, you can. It is absolutely possible. It's difficult, challenging, and will take time, but you can do it. I expressed how you could. So I'm with you. Biden speaks well. Okay. What I meant, David, good point. That's actually not true. What I meant to say, and I should have been clearer. Let me make clearer communication. In this commercial, he speaks well. Maybe that's what I should have said. So let me be clear in my communication. In this commercial that I just showed you, Biden speaks well. And when Biden's trying to connect to people on an emotional level, he's actually pretty good at that. The one-on-one that he's pretty good at. He's not as good, obviously, speaking in public or not on script, not his strength, right? Obama wasn't that good off script. Obama was very good on script. They would tease him about his teleprompter, but on the teleprompter, Obama was amazing, a great speaker on teleprompter. Off, he's okay. He's okay. George Bush was both. He was okay both. But when George Bush was good, was one-on-one, actually similar to Biden. Biden's pretty good if like you're talking to him one-on-one. He's pretty good. George Bush is pretty good that way. Clinton and Reagan, amazing off the cuff. Best communicators off the cuff. Reagan, blow you away off the cuff. No teleprompter needed. Clinton, blow you away off the cuff. No teleprompter needed. Those guys, awesome. Just awesome. You're okay. You got me, David. Thank you. You guys are paying attention at least. That's good. I like that. Yes. The left confuses feeling for thinking. It's always about emotions. I got to tell you, that's not always a losing battle, though, James, right? Politics is a lot about emotion. It isn't just about, logic. It's a lot about emotion. So they're not always wrong. Look, Democrats win elections all the time. So it works too. It absolutely, the country is sliding left right now. So not to COVID, it may not. It may start sliding back right after COVID. Prior to COVID, the country was sliding left. I don't know if that's still true, but it was happening. So, emotions do matter too. All humans are both emotional and logical, both. We both need the feel goods and we need the logic. We need it both. So sometimes not a bad idea. Yes. The only reason Biden's getting votes because he knows how to speak to the people because of his many years as a politician. He knows how to politically persuade through sympathy. Sympathy is something very good he does. He does sympathy and empathy very well, right? And you can see the Democrats and Republicans were both savvy when it came to their convention. The Democrats knew that Biden's strength is not in policy. It's not in successes. His strength is what you just saw in that commercial. His strength is, I feel your pain, empathy. That's his strength. So, man, they doubled down on that. And I think they did, relatively a good job letting the American people who watched go, you know what? This guy, he has feelings. He's empathetic. And it worked because Republicans tried doing that with Trump. And to be forward, they did a pretty good job of it too. They had Trump sit with those families. They had Trump do the naturalization ceremony. They had Trump pardon someone. The Republicans saw what Democrats did. They did a good job with Biden. And they said, you know what? Let's do it with Trump. They did a pretty good job. I think people saw Trump when he did those things in a different light. And those people who only liked Trump because of his projection of strength actually saw a different side. And I think they enjoyed it. I think the Republicans were effective in that. And I think because they saw what Democrats did with Biden, Democrats were very effective in making Biden feel and look and seem very empathetic. Because emotion does matter, James. I know you think they don't, but they do matter. Emotions do matter. I like how you have said before to find the common ground. And if you can agree across party lines on the majority of issues, that's a great thing. So many Republicans, Democrats will attack anyone who doesn't support their side. All the time I see it. Democrats will attack anyone who doesn't support their side. If you vote for Trump, you support children in cages and hate immigrants. If you're a Democrat, you hate unborn babies and freedom. Maybe the trend away from having, sharing, and talking about platforms because no matter what you say, is because no matter what you say as political candidate, I'm sure she kept going, but it ended. But I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I see it in the libertarian world. And the reason why most people get mad at me, and they do, the reason why most do is because I won't hate their enemy. Not actually because of my policies. They'll say your policies are fine, but why won't you hate this libertarian? Or why won't you hate this guy or gal? And I just won't hate them. And when you won't hate along with them, a lot of people get angry. And my biggest complaint people give me is, why don't you hate? They don't say those words, but they say things like, how could you say anything good about Biden? I'm giving the guy credit where credit is due. How can you say anything good about Trump? I'm giving the guy credit where credit is due. I give people credit where credit is due. Clearly, I'm voting Joe Jorgensen. I'm a blatant libertarian. Openly, scream it every day. I'm voting Joe Jorgensen. I'm not voting for Trump or Biden. And in New York State, why would I bother? New York State goes to Biden. I live in New York City. I don't decide the presidency. If you live in New York State, you have no say in the presidency. None. No say in the presidency at all. Your state, if you're New York like me, your vote, whether you like it or not, is going to Biden. So you should vote Joe Jorgensen. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, that's why I can talk like this. All my New York State votes go to Biden anyway. It doesn't matter. Vice President Pence said, we're not going to defund the police. Not now, not ever. He doesn't have that say. Police is a local thing. Maybe FBI, he could say that. But locally, New York City already did it. New York City defunded $1 billion off our police force. We already did it. We had a $6 billion budget for our police force. Yeah, I know. You're like, what? Yes. 40,000 New York City cops. Yeah. So we took us off out of $6 billion. We already took off $1 billion. And I believe it was a terrible idea. And look, let me be clear. A libertarian saying, I don't like the idea of defunding. I actually love the idea of defunding any part of government. The only problem is I want a serious plan to do it. If you're going to take $1 billion out of the police force, okay, tell me what you're going to replace it with. What's going to happen? How's that going to fix? Do you have community there? Do you have something else? You got something? They went, no, I want to punish cops. Take away $1 billion. What a terrible idea. I'm happy if you want to defund anything. Just give me a plan for it. What's going to happen? How are you going to recover? What are you going to do when that's gone? What you have to remember is government is by default two things, always. A monopoly and a jobs program. That's what government always is, no matter what. Those two things, monopoly, jobs program. When you remove parts of government, you have to somehow say, okay, now there's nothing there. It was a monopoly. And you always have to replace either with commerce or community. If you don't replace it with commerce or community, you just have a hole. And those jobs now gone. So how are you going to generate other things to create those jobs? To replace that. That's why you have to sometimes add commerce to replace those jobs in some way, shape, or form. Just defunding the cops is a terrible idea. Having a plan to do something better, all right, I'm open to any defunding plan. I'm not open to let's punish cops. That's not smart at all. That's a terrible idea. All right, not maybe it's recovery business. I don't think this is for me. Okay, this one probably isn't me. All right. Let me keep going down if I can. Thank you guys for all these great things. I appreciate this. The Democratic politicians talk around the subject and make people think to do something about it. Very true. All the time. All the time. Yes, absolutely. I hear it all the time. All right. Grab some more. JoJo 2020. Thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. Yes. I am skeptical about going to New York City. They need tourism and visitors, especially now. That's true, but New York City is, look, I've said 1,000 times. I live in New York. I'm born in New York City. It is an amazing place to visit. And I mean that truly. Empire State Building, Wall Street, when we're up and running, Broadway, Madison Square Garden, I can't tell you, 42nd Street. So many great places to visit, to see the UN, Empire State Building, Freedom Tower. New York City is an amazing place to visit. You might not want to live here. I get that. But oh my God, please, please come. It is amazing to visit. Just wait till after we recover, because we're going to be only a tourist city. Probably not right now. Maybe come a little bit later. Maybe that's the issue. Come a little bit later. So I want to grab one more if I could. I want to give you another one that I thought was interesting. This one is Tucker Carlson, and he's talking about Nancy Pelosi not wearing a mask, right? Now, there's a reason why I want to show you this one, right? There's a reason why I do want to show you this one, and it's not to beat up on Nancy Pelosi. I actually don't care about that issue, but you'll see why in a second, why I want to bring this up.
In security footage obtained by Fox News and timestamped Monday, 3:08 p.m. Pacific time, an 80-year-old part-time Napa resident called Nancy Pelosi can be seen slinking through a San Francisco hair salon. She has wet hair.
Mm-hmm.
She is not wearing a mask, but she was indoors. She was almost alone because due to coronavirus regulations, salons in San Francisco are closed for indoor services. Nancy Pelosi went inside. She can do that because she is the Speaker of the House, third in line for the presidency. You can.
This is again the point that I'm bringing up, right? It's not that I care about Nancy Pelosi putting on a mask or not. I actually don't. I mean, if those people in that salon are okay with her not putting a mask on, that's up to those people in that salon, up to them. My problem is twofold. One, that this is a story. Shouldn't be a story. Number two, okay, great. Her policies are good for everybody else and not her, right? Good for thee and not for me, as they say. These two things drive me crazy. And it is just Democrats. It is Democrats. But it isn't just Democrats, right? You got the Republican who's pro-life, but his girlfriend, he forced his girlfriend to get an abortion, right? Same stuff, right? Again and again and again. And these are stories. Well, I guess it should be a story, but Tucker Carlson is supposed to be, this is the 8 or 9 o'clock hour, whatever. It's the primetime hour on Fox News. This is supposed to be news. In my view, this is gossip. I'm not bidding up Tucker. He's not the only one who does this. They all do this. That's the point. They're not talking about actual policies. They're talking about actual reality that matters to us. They're doing, I got you. You're trying to tell me that Nancy Pelosi's a hypocrite. Yeah, I knew that. Not worth the 5 minutes or whatever it was on this show that you did that on. It wasn't worth it at all. Most of them are. They all think they're better than us. Most of them are. Remember the Chris Cuomo thing? Chris Cuomo's yelling about how bad women are, right? Cuomo. I knew the Cuomos were asses. I knew that already. Not worth being on primetime TV. I have an idea. Give us someone who's going to give us an actual answer on a policy. This show is often about me trying to give you answers, but also something else. It's about me asking politicians about policies, but also something else. It's about me asking actual experts how to fix things. You've seen this more than once on this show. I want to fix problems. I want to fix things. That's what I want. So anyway, this hotel in Times Square just closed. A lot of hotels are closing like there's no tomorrow. It's everywhere. It's bad. Do what I say, not what I do. Absolutely. And they are all that way. Absolutely. They are all that way. 100%. I can't believe that. Yeah. Yes. Fox campaigns Republicans, CNN campaigns Democrats. Yes. And what's funny is CNN campaigns hard now. I mean, hard now. They were not that bad before Trump. I really think CNN got triggered by Trump like no other organization. Oh my God. CNN was left before, but not like it is now. Once Trump was elected, they were like, that's it. Take off the veil. MSNBC, step aside. Let me show you how it's done. Boom, they jump right on. It is amazing how they did up. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys. I just want to show you those couple clips. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. For those of you who are watching, please do me a favor. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Do all those things. If you've got cash, I'm out campaigning Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll have one more show next week. This week will be tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last show of the week. Then I'm not on again until next week because I'm out campaigning, trying to get some people to vote gold. And you should be voting gold. If you want to help me out, you can sponsor the show. Head on over to patreon.com/sharpeway. $10, $25, or $100 if you got a bunch of cash. I love it. But if you don't have the cash, no worries as always. No worries. If you don't have the cash, like, comment, share. This stuff matters. Please do it. I'll be seeing you all very soon. Have a good night.